Hi, I'm Ren.
I'm Sam.
I'm Tosh. And we're the T Swift Sisters.
Welcome back to the T Swift Sisters podcast, a Taylor Swift fan podcast for Swifties by Swifties. In today's episode, we're recapping the 66th annual Grammys, celebrating Taylor's big wins, and diving right into our Tortured Poets Department era. Here's this week's Swift Scoop. Okay, so it's literally the moment that we've been waiting for. I don't think that last week's episode or any discussion that we've had of the Grammys leading up to this would have actually prepared us for what happened. Absolutely insane. And I think we need to start with Taylor changing her profile picture to black and white, because that sent the internet into a literal frenzy, us included. And I think our day with the Grammys truly starts there.
Mm-hmm.
So Taylor, if you guys don't know, changed her profile picture on all her platforms to a black and white version of the Midnights era. And everybody started freaking out because what is black and white? Reputation, obviously, the Reputation cover, the Reputation era, those are very significant colors from that era. So Taylor doing that kind of made everybody believe that she was announcing Rep at the Grammys. And then the website crashed. That was absolutely insane. So if you guys weren't able to see the website when it was down, it had this error code, but typically an error code on a website is 503 or something. And this one was 321. And what do we know in Taylor land and Taylor chants is that it's 123 LGB. And then there was another little word scramble in there that if you unscrambled the letters, it spelled red. How do you say it? Is it herring? Red herring?
Yeah.
Okay, so a red herring, which we're going to get into that specific phrase a little bit later in today's episode because it comes back to haunt us. So yeah, what do you guys think?
I was going to say, just also with that website glitch, it was titled backend fetch failed. And then the fourth line that had it had DPT 321. If you read that backwards, it was 123 Tortured Poets Department. And if you read it through the back end, the name of the error code, it was literally the acronym of the album, which is crazy.
Wow.
But no one would ever think to know that, of course, when you're thinking it's Rep TV being released,
right.
Or and announced, yeah.
The definition of the red herring is supposed to be a clue or kind of a distraction from something going on. So people were saying okay, the website being down is a distraction from Taylor getting ready to announce Rep at the Grammys.
Oh my God.
And we were so ready for it. Sammy and I were dressed in our Rep gear. We're in the chat sending so many messages Rep is coming. Are we ready? How are we going to do this? I was thinking in my head, I'm okay, I've already decided that if Taylor announces Rep TV tonight, we're doing a giveaway. I will fund it. I will buy whatever merch and we will give it away. It's happening. We're re-entering our Rep era. Amazing stuff. Somebody on the internet said, this makes me laugh so much. They were we've defrosted Rep so many times. Do you still think it's safe to eat? Because we have literally clowned so much for the Rep era. How many times have we been at this point that it's okay, guys, we're here, it's happening. And then Taylor's absolutely not.
Back in the freezer.
Yeah.
I'm embarrassed at this point. How much longer can this go on? I'm humiliated.
Honestly, I'm not even humiliated at this point because you know that I live my life on Clownelia Street. I have a permanent residency there. But I was so happy that you were in because I was okay, finally someone sees it. We're not clowning. This is real life.
No, it was full force. Today is the day. It is happening. This is the beginning of our lives. We were full-fledged Rep mode.
We pulled up to the red carpet on E! News at 6 p.m. I was like, I know how Taylor does this. And like, I knew she was going to be one of the last people there, but I was like, I'm going to wait. I'm going to see everybody come out on the red carpet. Taylor, not Taylor, Sabrina Carpenter, Lana, Jack Antonoff, all of them wearing all black. Gracie Abrams wearing all black. I'm like, oh baby, like Reputation for sure is coming. I ate it up. And then Taylor finally comes out and she's wearing black and white.
And like you said, it was giving
Reputation.
Yeah.
It was literally giving like the cover of a newspaper. Like the white and the black gloves. First of all, I should have been wearing my black gloves that I bought recently for this episode because like I was like, yes, Taylor, thank you. I can't believe her.
The braid kind of weaving through her hair like a snake.
And then the other side like kind of slicked down. The layered necklaces, the choker, like.
I can't believe her.
She knows what she was doing.
She like knew what she was doing. Wait, did we just say the same thing?
Yes.
Yeah, she knew what she was doing because I feel like the new aesthetic is not, it doesn't match Reputation, but like it could, as in like the white and right, where like it's close enough where we thought it was still giving Reputation when it clearly wasn't supposed to.
It was giving like this, the new look is almost giving like a very elegant Reputation, if that makes sense. Like very elevated, refined, yes. And like it makes sense because Taylor's versions tend to be the refined version, the more elegant version of the original album. So I'm like, okay, and nothing. We literally got nothing. And like I was not expecting it I was like, I don't know when I was expecting her to announce Rep. I was not expecting it to be the first award that she won of the night.
Right?
I'm guessing it's because like, and I think it's a testament to like how she reacted when she won Album of the Year. Like, I think she really did not think that she was winning Album of the Year. So she was like, all right, if I'm getting up on this stage tonight, I got to do it the first time because I don't know if I'm going to be able to come back. I can't believe it. And it was so nonchalant. She's like, yeah, whatever. For 2 years. I'm like,
I didn't even hear that part because I heard like the word secret and I was already yelling because I was like, oh, it's Rep TV, I feel like. And then it just wasn't.
She was so casual about it.
When she was like, let me go like post the picture now.
Yeah, the cover now. I'm like, what is happening? I was like, did I black out? Am I okay? It was absolutely insane.
But also she chose the perfect time because I know a lot of people check out from the Grammys, you know.
Oh, you do? You do know a lot of people that check out?
Just at you.
Did everyone here watch it to the end?
Like, yes.
Everyone listening right now, every listener, every pod
watcher. Everybody hosting this podcast.
Oh, no, I'm not talking about 3 people. I'm talking about viewers in general, Americans in general. Like, I know a lot of people that did not watch to the end because, come on, 11:30. I was talking about it with someone today. Like, why did they do on a Sunday right before work? But whatever, I digress. Anyway, so she chose a good time when most of the people are viewing and most of the people are engaged because, I'm sorry, like at 11 p.m., we're not all like watching at the same level as we were at when like 9:30. So she chose a good time.
I can't believe it. I don't even know what to say. It's our first album that is multiple words.
Yeah. Doesn't roll off the tongue as easy.
It doesn't. I'm like so confused by the title always. I always want to call it the Tortured Poets Society. Like I keep thinking of the Dead Poets Society. I get so confused.
Literally.
I'm like, it hasn't even been 1 day yet, and I'm already like confused by this album. How is this gonna go? But we do have to give like a little clap to Tosh because she predicted correctly.
Woo, go Tosh.
I'm still shook though, because then after I said it and then we had the conversation, I was like, all right, I'm convinced I'm wrong.
Because it just like I don't get how it makes sense. I really don't. Like, what does this mean for eras now? Because what the heck? Like, and she has time off in between the shows. So does that mean she adds it into the show? Like, or like when does she ever go on tour for TS11?
I like love that she did this because of that. Like,
No,
because
yeah,
it
because now we
leaves,
never know.
yeah,
Yes.
it leaves so many unknowns. We don't know what we're gonna get because we're gonna get it.
Yeah. No,
Crazy.
yeah. And it's like somebody said this on Twitter, and like it makes sense that we're following now the trend of like album. So I guess even if you like count Folklore and Evermore as like one album drop, well, like that's like an anomaly because it was COVID. 2021 was Fearless and Red, Taylor's version. 2022 Midnight's Soul album. 2023 Speak Now. 1989 Taylor's version. 2024, I was literally about to say Dead Poets Society, Tortured Poets Department. So that means that more than likely 2025 will be Rep and Debut to close out the re-records. But then also like it's Taylor Swift. So we could be saying this and then she's like releasing Reputation tomorrow. And like we're like, okay.
Or like debut first or something.
Yeah, literally. But speaking of Taylor and the awards and everything, I want to backtrack a little so that we can share that Taylor winning this Album of the Year award is record breaking because we just know how Taylor Swift does things. And if it's not making history, it's just simply not Taylor Swift. So Taylor broke the award for Album of the Year, and she is now the person with the most Album of the Year awards, male or female. And I wanted to point out that she actually broke a record with every single one of the Album of the Year awards that she received. So when she received it for the Fearless album, she was the youngest person ever to receive Album of the Year. And then when she received it for 1989, she was the most awarded woman at the time with 2 Album of the Years. Then when she won it for Folklore, she was still the most awarded with 3. So she broke her own record. And now she's just overall the person with the most Album of the Year awards. And it's truly iconic because as she's like receiving this album, all I can think about is that Tortured Poets Department, almost said Dead Poets Society again. I can't. Tortured Poets Department is early enough released that it will be in next year's Grammy run up. So she's likely going to win back-to-back Album of the Years.
That's insane.
Because I can already tell that this album is going to be like a slay.
I think that's why people are nervous. I saw this TikTok that like cut to audience reactions, like other artists' reactions on her announcement drop, and they look panicky. They're probably thinking of their own release drops. They're probably thinking about the competition that comes with it, and they look nervous.
They're like, I gotta postpone my date.
Yeah, exactly.
So multiple years away from now.
Right. Because like Ren said, it's going to be, next year, a competition all over again. That's insane.
I can't. I'm so shook by this. I honestly don't even believe this is real life. Like this was the last thing that I saw coming. I was like, it's either a rep announcement or she's like just clowning us and nothing's happening.
It doesn't feel real.
Like an April release. The only thing that was released in April was Fearless, and that was Taylor's version of it. Like we never get an album this early in the year. I'm just so lost. But like, if you think about it too, it goes on track with like her history of releasing albums because she typically does it every 2 years, drops a new album. So like we should be getting TS11 this year, but like so early. What happened? I'm just so lost.
I feel
Our
like
Spotify Wrapped is waiting.
Oh my God. I can't.
And it makes sense since Lana just announced her new album also being released, and then they show up together for the Grammys. So what a powerful duo. Love those women.
Lana has a new album. She has a country album coming in?
It's gonna be a country album.
Oh.
Lasso,
is it
right?
like is it like country folky? Like do we think like Casey Musgraves kind of thing?
So people were thinking like country folky, but like kind of mixed with I think kind of like the bluesy type work that she's done. Bluesy, that sounds weird. Blues?
I get I get
you know
what
what?
you're saying.
Yeah. Moody country. We're not thinking like Keith Urban or anything like that.
No, yeah, I'm thinking like I don't know if you've heard Casey Musgrave's album Golden Hour, the one that won Album of the Year. That's what I would like picture Lana Del Rey as, like a country singer. I love that album. So like if that's the case, maybe this will be the first time that I actually listen to Lana.
I hope.
There's actually, speaking of new music coming out, look at us. Who are we talking about anybody but Taylor Swift? Maggie Rogers is coming out with a new album.
Yay.
Yeah, we love Mags. Her new song actually drops on Friday, this Friday, February 8th. I believe she has a new song from her new album coming out. And she was like, oh, this album, I created it in 5 days. I'm like, okay, slay queen. So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Mags.
I know, I'm so excited for new Mags. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the Trusted Poets Department. Wow, I'm just gonna call it TPD. Do we think it's TPD or TTPD? Because I've seen both, and I think
the logo is TTPD.
The logo is 2 T's?
Yeah.
They're just like
it looks like a Roman numeral.
I thought that the other one was the stick of the D, of the P, I mean, excuse me. It's TTPD.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's talk a little bit about it. Some fun facts that we already know, some stuff that's like come out on the internet about it, and like dive in. But we'll start with the album has 16 tracks and 1 bonus track called The Manuscript. So if you purchase the collector's edition CD or whatever, it's on there. And the vinyl as well has the bonus track, which is like, I'm pretty surprised because the vinyl typically never has a bonus track unless it's like a Target version or something. So I was pretty happy to see that. I won't lie. The album, Taylor posting the album cover passed 4 million likes in 18 minutes on Instagram.
Me too.
That's literally insane to me. Like her popularity, her career, everything has just exploded so much, even from the time Midnights was released. And then on top of that, she said that she's been keeping the album a secret for 2 years. It hasn't even been 2 years of Midnights yet.
That's crazy.
So like, do we think that like maybe songs that like didn't fit on Midnights started becoming this album, or just the time frame of creating Midnights?
Kind of like what we were thinking with those. Remember the list of songs that we saw were certified? Registered.
Registered.
Kind of like free floating, we're like, okay, what's happening with this? Kind of like that, where who knows how many others there are just like out there in her own little universe. And then it's just like, okay, put that to TTPD. Me saying that because I forgot the full name. And that's going to be the next release. Like, who knows when these are from?
I know. Okay, so I've been also thinking about it, and I want to ask you guys, what type of pen do you think this album is going to be? So we'll do like a little refresher. I wrote some like quotes that Taylor said herself about the pens. I think we all know that glitter gel pen is like super poppy, bejeweled, karma. So that's that. Just remember that. And then we have, in a statement with Apple, Taylor said, most of my lyrics are fountain pen lyrics. They're modern personal stories written like poetry about those moments where you can see, hear, and feel everything in screaming detail. Then she also said, on quill pen songs are songs with lyrics that make you feel all old-fashioned, like you're a 19th century poet crafting your next sonnet by candlelight. So both of these include the word poetry, and we know that TTPD obviously has poetry in the title. What are we thinking here? I don't think there's going to be any glitter gel pens.
Yeah.
I don't see one being on the album, to be honest.
But do you think she'd release an album without a single glitter like gel pen?
I mean,
maybe
Folklore does not have a single glitter gel pen.
You don't think Betty is?
No, I don't. I think Betty is like Fountain.
Can you reiterate what fountain is again? I just want to.
Most of my lyrics are fountain pen lyrics. They're modern, personal stories written like poetry about those moments where you can see, hear, and feel everything in screaming detail. So honestly, Betty, I feel like is more Quill to me. What we have the playlist that that Taylor made with Apple for these songs. I'm gonna look it up really quickly.
And are we talking, what's your question? Like what we think the album mostly is, or
like what you think? So like my thoughts about the album are that it's like fountain pen meets quill pen. I think like that's the range. I don't think there's any glitter pen involved.
Yeah, I
don't know. What do you think, Sammy?
I can't see a glitter being on this one.
I really can't.
I was thinking the same thing that you said, like imagine folklore. We didn't get that vibe. That just wasn't the theme of the album as a whole. So I feel like it would just stick out if there was like a poppy one. Maybe its own version, because like, Mirrorball in its own sense can be a little bit, upbeat for the album that it's in. Maybe we might get something a little bit upbeat in that sense, but I really don't see glitter.
I don't see like it just, even the cover is not, and I mean the cover of Midnights did not give glitter, and there's a lot of glitter on the Midnights album. Okay, so I'm looking at the playlist that Taylor created with Apple Music. On Glitter Gel Pen, there's not one folklore song at all.
Oh my gosh. Is there Evermore?
There is no Evermore. No, we have Midnights, Some Lover, Fearless, some Red Taylor's version, which is 22. We Are Never Ever Getting Back Together. That's pretty much it. So let's see what we have for Fountain Pen. Okay, Fountain Pen songs. Lavender Haze, Maroon, Exile, Betty. Betty's there.
Fountain, you said?
Yeah, Fountain. Champagne. Okay, this is like most of Taylor's work and that's what she said. But yeah, so like The One, Exile, Marjorie, Champagne Problems.
Oh, Champagne Problems for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think it's going to be like Fountain meets Quill, truly. So for Quill, we have Snow on the Beach with Lana. Last Great American Dynasty is a Quill. Carolina.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Carolina.
That's giving Quill if I ever saw it.
This one's interesting to me. Red, like the actual song Red.
That is
Quill. I would picture that as a fountain, I think.
Yep. Because it's
I feel like it's also glitter gel, but
Mastermind and Antihero are quill pen songs.
Oh. Ooh.
Antihero is also giving glitter gel. But
I think it's giving glitter gel because it's it was a single, a pop single.
Right.
So I think that's what we automatically associate it with.
Yeah.
Lyric-wise might be a different story.
Yeah. There's still some other stuff that we have to talk about the album. Okay. So the album sales surpassed what Midnights achieved in the first hour after Taylor announced it in 25 minutes.
Oh, God.
Literally, she's quadrupled fame.
Yeah. And imagine how many more sales it would have been if there wasn't a queue that we were waiting in to check out.
Yeah.
Insane. Next point. This is wild to me. I don't know what to think about it. I wasn't sure if we were going to talk about it on the pod or not, but I feel like we have to talk about it. It's a thing that's been going around, so let's talk about it. In a December 2022 interview with Variety, Joe Alwyn, if you're new to this podcast, if you're new to being a Swiftie, was Taylor Swift's former boyfriend until March of 2023. He had an interview with Variety late 2022, and he admitted to being in a group chat called the Tortured Man Club. And the video's there. You can literally click the link. We will put it in the show notes of this episode so you can watch the interview yourself. What do we think about this? do we think that it has something to do with the name of the album? Even if it's like a slight chance, like a 0.5% chance that you think that like, yeah, maybe, yeah, you're nodding your head, Tosh. Yeah. Do we think that it's like gonna like kind of explore their breakup a little bit?
We're nodding, by the way.
I'm like, yeah, are you guys
Podcast
gonna, we're
listeners.
literally
yeah,
on a podcast.
Sorry.
For everybody
think
who's not
yes.
watching us on YouTube, okay.
I think that the timeline would kind of match. I think that the name, like the first two words being the same, but then also like like both of them being like this little group of tortured people
Mhm.
is the same. And I think like out of anything to name an album, like the fact that he referenced the Tortured Man Club and then now she's naming it that, like I think like there's no way, I just don't think there's a way that it isn't related.
Okay. All right, so do you think that like the entire album is just about like maybe the last 2 years like leading up to this?
I feel like, yeah. And I feel like it could be like because Midnights was this like cloudy, like it had a cloudy meaning for us. And like we didn't know if it was like a love or a breakup album. And then it was, but we like, it was just very like, we were unsure the whole time. Like I think this might be like her freeing herself of all of that. And like the You're Losing Me in an album.
I was just gonna say, maybe You're Losing Me is like truly where our story starts. Because You're Losing Me is like 2021, right? So like maybe that's where the album is starting. Right after Midnight's era, like an additional thing to the era to really start us in this like trajectory of the storyline of what's happening now in the Tortured Poets department. What do you think, Sammy? What are your thoughts?
I definitely think the group chat name was an inspo for this. Like, okay, we have this name. How do we turn it into something relevant to us? So like I'm thinking like Taylor Swift, okay? So obviously taking out the man's club, whatever it was. She's very poetic. We know that. Throw that in there. And then I think what's really significant in her time post breakup is that she's rarely alone. She's always out with people. So friends, groups, always in multiple. So in a sense, like her own not society, but department in this sense.
Yeah.
So I may not think that the album in its entirety is on the breakup or maybe fallout of that relationship. I think that could be the theme, but I don't think it's only from her perspective. So I think we might be getting songs from her experience, but the rest of the album might be put together of other people sharing their breakup, post-breakup, single era experiences.
Yeah.
And I'm the sense of it.
Yeah, I'm thinking like you mentioned the people that she's been around and everything and like the Tortured Poets department. So I immediately went to Sophie Turner and like her breakup with Joe and how I'm sure that was significant in Taylor's life because like they were Sophie and her children were living at Taylor's place. So, you know, maybe we see like some of that in there or like Taylor and like being free and going out with her friends for the first time in there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. And then tying back into like the Joe of it all, there was a tweet on Twitter which is where the tweets would be. According to a user whose name is @Cherry, spelled CHRRY, Lip Classic, the great unfollowing of Joe Alwyn happened after Taylor's dinner with her friends on April 19th, 2023. So the article even says, most recently, Swift was spotted on April 19 with close buds Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds exiting Casa Cipriani, not Italian, so excuse me, in downtown New York. Yeah.
And she's releasing it on April 19.
Yeah. Yeah.
Iconic.
I think we're about to be really sad.
Yeah. I'm ready
And
for it.
not even like sad because like I think just like sad about everything, like not because Taylor's sad, like it's just like gonna be a sad album, I think.
When do you think we're gonna get the track list?
I think oh my god, I hope to God, Taylor Swift, if you're listening to this, please, please, I can't take another Midnight's Mayhem with me. Please, I need my sleep. I can't do it. I can't stay up at night to do it all over again. Please let this album be like a 3 p.m. coffee break, coffee shop time.
Yeah, please. I couldn't even stay up for the Grammys. Give me a
Yeah,
break.
we know, Samantha.
Give me a break here.
Yeah,
She's so
I think we're gonna
nonchalant.
get it. She's so nonchalant. I feel like this album, she's literally just like, meh.
Meh.
Like she's gonna be like, hey guys, I'm drinking my afternoon tea or coffee. I don't know what the poets department prefers as their caffeine of choice. Here's the track list. Here are the features.
It's so fun being a Swiftie. Like I feel like bad,
Stressed. I feel stressed 99.9% of the time.
but it's so fun.
It is really fun. Like how is it that you have a musician who's like also your best friend who also leaves like little clues for you to figure out everywhere?
Right.
And
Who
that's why
also
I'm
gives
stressed.
nothing at the same time.
And we give everything, all of our
Mhm.
money. No, but she gives everything too. Like
No, she does.
this is all for the fans. It's
What
gonna
were
be
you
a
gonna say,
wild
Selma?
ride. Yeah, what were we gonna say, Sammy?
No, that being a Swiftie made me learn that it's okay to fail.
Deep.
Because I failed many times in this whole reputation debacle.
Sammy's in the tortured poets department.
Oh my god. She's the
And
vice
secretary.
president.
Assistant chairman.
No, being a Swiftie truly is the most humbling experience ever, especially when you're so full throttle on it. Because, like, when you're a Swiftie, but you're not like constantly on the internet doing everything that everybody else is doing, I feel like you don't really understand the depth of it. Like, things just happen and you're like, oh, okay, but you didn't know that every single person on Twitter changed their profile picture to a black and white Reputation era photo, like tweeted their merch, claimed their songs for the last time before they became Rep Taylor's version songs. Like you didn't see the Sour Patch Kids account put a black and white Reputation photo of themselves. Like, but that's literally just like what being a Swiftie is. Like there's just so much to come. Like forget everything you know. Every day it's something new here, truly.
Oh, we got a track list.
We got a track list?
Yes.
Wait, what? Like live?
Samantha!
Yes.
What do you mean?
Oh my
It's posted.
god! Oh my god,
Fortnite.
Taylor
You can
Swift
post
added to their
Malone.
story.
Post Malone.
Wait, what?
Florence and the Machine.
What?
Oh my god!
Shut up, shut up, shut up.
Down bad, but okay.
Florida.
Wait, okay, we're gonna share the track list right now. I'm sure you guys have already seen it, but we're seeing it live for the first time. I just want to say somebody leaked this track list on TikTok, and I saw it today, and they had leaked it a few months ago, which is probably why she's doing this now.
Yeah.
Oh my!
So long, London.
So long, London.
That I saw that one. I was like, wait, if this is a real track list, that one's gonna be insane.
Not Florida! Exclamation! Exclamation!
Finally.
The smallest man who ever lived.
Oh, I know.
Why does that sound like the saddest song ever?
Oh,
And the
I was
love of my
thinking.
life one with no caps.
Lommel. I can fix him. No, really, I can. Okay, let's share them in order. Who wants to read them?
We can each do a side.
Okay. Go for it. Sammy, you start.
Side A, Fortnite, featuring Post Malone. The Tortured Poets Department. My boy only breaks his favorite toys. Down bad.
Please don't let me read side B. Please, please.
Okay. Oh my god, because it says the word daddy. I hate this girl.
I hate you.
I literally hate her. Side B, So Long London, I can't. But Daddy, I love him. Fresh Out the Slammer. Florida, featuring Florence and the Machine.
Side C, Guilty as Sin. Who's Afraid of Little Old Me? I can fix him. No, I really can. And Lommel, love of my life.
No, really, I can. But you did a good job.
What did I say?
No, I really can.
Oh, sorry. I can fix him. No, really, I can.
We can fix her.
No, really, you can't.
I can do it with a broken heart, the smallest man who ever lived, the alchemy, Clara Bow. Bonus track, the manuscript.
Ooh, I wonder if this is like telling like the sides and like the order is like chronological.
Ooh.
Because like let's think for a second. Fortnite. Wait, but that's not spelled like Fortnite the game, right? I'm like, okay, Fortnite is 2018, right?
I think it's NITE.
It is NITE.
Yeah.
It is
Okay.
NITE. Why would you do that, Taylor? You're gonna confuse me. But like,
Okay.
what if this is chronological order?
Ooh.
Of chronological order of events.
Mm-hmm. Because look at how one of the last songs is the smallest man who ever lived. I feel like that's like when you think so little of somebody that all you see is like they're small, like when they're the smallest, you know? I don't know.
It sounds like a lot. If that were the case, like chronological order, doesn't it seem like it's a lot of back and forth, like a very torturous process of going back and forth?
Yes, and in an article that I was reading today about Miss Swift and Mr. Alwyn, I read that over the course of their relationship in the 6 years, they were constantly on and off, but that the public did not see that. And when they broke up in March, all of their friends thought for sure like it was just another one of their off moments and they were going to get back together. So it seems like it was frequent in their relationship to like go back and forth kind of thing. But then I also feel like So Long London would be more toward the end if it was chronological order, right?
That's what I was thinking. But what if,
It's the back and forth thing.
yeah,
Oh my God.
what if So Long London only like for both of them to come back to New York and then still be
Like trying to figure
in
it
a
out.
downhill? Yeah.
Because like I'm thinking to side D, I can do it with a broken heart. Like, okay, I can make it. And then the smallest man who ever lived, like something that somebody double crossed her and she's like, oh my God, like what?
Mhm.
Oh man, oh man, oh man.
I need to know what she has to say about Florida.
I know. And what Florence
Something
and the Machine has to
significant?
say about Florida too.
Or was there like a significant event that happened like uh, while she was here at one point? I don't know. I'm trying to think
She
like,
filmed the Endgame music video here in Miami.
also, this is beautiful.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, can we look at the back cover and how it says, I love you, it's
Mhm.
ruining my life.
No, I love that. I love this so much.
I can't believe this was released while we were on the pod after literally me asking when is it going to be posted.
I know. I'm so glad that we got to share with you guys our actual live reaction and thoughts about the tracks, like versus having to do it in a chat and then come back on here next week to talk about it. Is Taylor actually paying attention to when we record?
She knows.
Mother always knows. Oh my goodness, guys, I'm literally so scared. Like I'm trying not to be dramatic, but like this is also the most dramatic thing that's ever happened to me in my life.
From the desk of Taylor Swift.
Why did that not faze me?
Yeah, I'm like, anyway, back to this.
Nodded.
Wow, dude. Wow.
Oh man.
Well, I guess that's like the perfect way to sign off on this week's episode. Hopefully we have so much more to share next week when we come back. We're going to have the return of Eras, see how like TTPD fits inside of this, if she says anything about it at the Eras tour.
Maybe with next episode we can do something like we always do with predictions now that we have a track list, so we can come up with something fun.
Yes, and next week is also Valentine's, so we have a special little Valentine's episode for you guys next week. Stay tuned for that. Make sure that you're wearing all your pink and red and white stuff. Will be your Valentine's. If you don't have one, it's totally cool. We love everybody. But yeah, I think that's honestly the perfect way to sign off on this episode was getting the track list right at the end.
Yay!
What
Amazing.
a gift.
So that about wraps up this week's episode of the T Swift Sisters podcast. Before we log off, please remember to follow our podcast on your listening platform by clicking the plus button next to our show. If you want to support our podcast, feel free to check out our actual show page. It's at the link in our bio on Twitter and Instagram. You can make a little donation to keep our show going, or you can simply see all of our old episodes. So follow us on social media for live Taylor Swift news updates and so much more. All of this clownery and whatnot. You can find us on Instagram and TikTok at TSwiftSistersPod or Twitter at TSwiftSisters. Thanks for savoring this week's Swift Scoop. We hope you've had your fill of all things Taylor Swift, and we'll see you next week right here in the Tortured Poets department.
So long, listeners.